Ladies and gentlemen, let's cut the nonsense and get straight to it. Life is brutal, and if you don't take control, it will beat you down like a dog. Some of you in this room are still crying over a woman who left you as if she was the last damn person on earth. Wake up! She left because you weren't the man you were supposed to be. She left because God gave you a chance to grow, to become better, to rise above the mediocrity you were drowning in. But instead of taking it as a lesson, some of you sit in your self-pity, whining, drinking, scrolling through her social media like a weak, pathetic version of yourself. Let me tell you something. Success, power, and dominance do not come from crying over a woman who chose to walk away. They come from turning that pain into something unstoppable. God let her leave you for a reason, because he knew you wouldn't change unless you were forced to. It's time to take that pain and use it as fuel. It's time to stop blaming her, stop blaming fate, stop blaming everything except the one person responsible for where you are, you. The weak men of today have been conditioned to think that love is about sacrificing themselves completely, about bending over backward for a woman who no longer respects them. That's why so many of you are broken. You gave her your soul instead of your leadership. And when she saw that you were no longer a man, she walked away. Good. That was the best thing that could have happened to you, because now you have a chance to reclaim yourself. Now, let's talk about what you need to do next. I'm going to give you 7 key truths, things that most people are too afraid to say, things that will make you uncomfortable, things that will challenge you. But if you take them to heart, if you actually implement them instead of just nodding your head, you emerge from this stronger, more powerful, and more successful than ever before. Pain is the catalyst for greatness. Pain is the single most powerful force in the world. It can either break you or forge you into something unrecognizable. When she left, it hurt, didn't it? That feeling in your chest, that emptiness, that rage, it's all consuming. But instead of using it like a weapon, most of you let it consume you. You sulk, you self-destruct, you drown yourself in distractions. That's weakness. Great men throughout history have all used pain to propel themselves forward. They didn't cry over lost love. They turned their heartbreak into empires. Do you think Alexander the Great, Elon Musk, or any of the great titans of power spent their nights sobbing into a pillow? No. They took that pain and turned it into action. They built something so massive, so untouchable, that the very people who doubted them were left in awe. You have 2 choices. Let this pain define you as a loser, or use it as the fire that makes you unstoppable. Right now, you're in the trenches, and that's exactly where you need to be. Because comfort breeds weakness, but pain breeds strength. The most dangerous man in the world is the one who has nothing left to lose, but everything to prove. That's where you need to get to. But here's the problem. Most of you don't want to face that pain head on. You want a shortcut. You want a magic pill that will make the hurt go away instantly. There is no shortcut. The only way out is through. You have to embrace the suffering. Sit with it. Let it burn into your soul until you can't take it anymore, and then use it to become something greater than you ever imagined. That's the difference between men who rise and men who stay broken. The ones who rise don't avoid the pain. They run toward it. They let it sharpen them like a blade. They use it as their greatest advantage. That's what you need to do now. Stop seeing this as a loss and start seeing it as the greatest opportunity of your life. If she hadn't left, you would have stayed the same. You would have been comfortable, complacent, weak. But now you have the chance to rebuild yourself from the ground up. Use the pain or let it destroy you. The choice is yours. You were never her priority. and that's your fault. Let's get one thing straight. She didn't leave you because she was bored. She didn't leave you because she suddenly woke up one day and decided to ruin your life. She left you because somewhere along the way, you stopped being the man she admired. You stopped leading. You stopped being the priority in your own life, and in doing so, you lost your place in hers. The brutal truth is that most men today are weak. You put her on a pedestal while putting yourself in the dirt. You chased, you compromised, you bent over backward trying to please her, and in the process, you became disposable. Women don't leave men they respect. They leave men they've lost respect for. The moment you let her become the center of your world, you've sealed your own fate. A woman wants a man who is in control of his life. She wants a man who has a mission, who is so focused on his purpose that she has to fight for a spot in his life. But what did you do? You made her your mission. You prioritized her over your goals, your ambitions, and your self-respect. And the moment she saw that, she knew she could do better. Now, here's the good news. This isn't about blaming her. This is about fixing you. If you're still crying over her, it means you still don't get it. She was never supposed to be your entire life. She was supposed to complement it. The only way to ensure you never end up in this situation again is to build a life so powerful that losing someone doesn't break you. You were never her priority because you weren't your own priority. That ends today. From this moment forward, your focus is on becoming a man so valuable, so strong, so damn successful that no woman ever questions your worth again. And if she does, you walk away without hesitation, because real men don't beg, they replace. Weakness is a disease and it's killing you. Look around you. The world is filled with weak men, men who apologize for being ambitious, men who are afraid to take risks, men who would rather be liked than respected. And guess what? Those are the men who get left behind. Those are the men who get replaced. Those are the men who never make history. Weakness is a disease, and if you let it take hold, it will consume you. It starts small. You let her disrespect you once and you say nothing. You compromise on something that matters to you just to keep the peace. You ignore the red flags because you're afraid to lose her. And before you know it, you become a shadow of the man you used to be. You're walking on eggshells, afraid to upset her, afraid to lose her, afraid to be alone. Let me tell you something. Fear is the fastest way to destroy your own life. The moment you start operating from a place of fear, you've already lost. You can't be a leader if you're afraid. You can't be successful if you're afraid. And you sure as hell can't keep a woman's respect if you're afraid. The antidote to weakness is discipline. You need to start treating yourself like a warrior. That means training your mind and body every single day. It means setting standards for yourself that are so high, the average man looks at you like you're insane. It means becoming so focused on your mission that you don't have time for weakness. Stop making excuses. Stop justifying your failures. Stop letting yourself be anything less than the best version of you. Because if you don't, you will lose every time. And the worst part, no one will feel sorry for you. The only way to win is to become irreplaceable. Do you want to know why she left? Because she thought she could do better. Because in her mind, you were replaceable. And the harsh reality is, she was right. If you had been the kind of man who was irreplaceable, she would never have left. But you weren't. You were just another average guy, living an average life, doing average things, and that's exactly why you lost her. Women don't leave men they see as top tier. They don't leave men who command respect. They don't leave men who have options. And that's the kind of man you need to become, not for her, but for yourself. If you're the kind of man who brings massive value to the world, people fight to be in your life. They don't walk away. So how do you become irreplaceable? You master every area of your life. Physically, you get in the best shape of your damn life. Financially, you make sure you're so successful that you never depend on anyone for anything. Mentally, you develop a mindset so unshakable that nothing phases you. Emotionally, you stop reacting, you start leading. The moment you become irreplaceable, everything changes. Women don't leave you, they chase you. People don't ignore you, they respect you. Opportunities don't disappear, they multiply. Because high-value men don't beg for anything, they attract everything. Stop seeking validation, become the source of it. Most of you are still desperate for validation. You need someone to tell you you're good enough. You need a woman to love you so you can feel worthy. You need approval before you take action. And that's exactly why you keep losing. Because real power comes from within, not from external validation. The moment you start seeking approval from others, you give them control over your life. You become a slave to their opinions, their expectations, their judgments. And that's why you feel lost, because you've been chasing validation instead of owning your worth. If you want to win, you need to become the source of your own validation. That means setting goals so massive that the only competition you have is yourself. That means becoming so disciplined that your own reflection commands respect. That means building a life so powerful that you don't need anyone to tell you you're great. You already know it. And here's the best part. When you stop seeking validation, people start giving it to you naturally. When you walk into a room and carry yourself like a king, people notice. When you operate at such a high level that others can't ignore you, they respect you. But that only happens when you stop looking for it and start embodying it. Never chase, always replace. Let's be clear, chasing a woman who left you is the most pathetic thing you can do. The moment she walked away, she made a choice. And if you beg for her back, you're telling her that you have no value, no options, and no self-respect. That's why women despise desperate men, because desperation is weakness. Winners don't chase, winners replace. If someone walks away, let them go. Because the moment you start chasing, you lose all power. Instead of chasing, you need to elevate. You need to focus on becoming so powerful that losing one person means nothing to you. This isn't about being bitter. It's about being smart. High-value men don't waste time trying to convince someone to stay. They move forward, they build, they dominate, and in the process, they attract people who actually respect and appreciate them. The best revenge isn't proving her wrong, it's proving yourself right. It's becoming so successful, so powerful, and so untouchable that you don't even have to think about her anymore. That's the mindset of a true winner. Turn your loss into the fuel for your greatest comeback. Listen carefully, this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you. The greatest men in history were not made in times of comfort. They were forged in fire. They took their losses, their pain, and their betrayals, and they used them as the foundation for something legendary. And now, it's your turn. Right now, you have two options. You can sit in your misery, replaying the past, feeling sorry for yourself like the millions of other weak men who never rise above their circumstances. Or you can take this pain and use it as the fuel to become the most dominant, unstoppable version of yourself. Your heartbreak is not a curse, it's a gift. God let her leave you because you weren't meant to stay where you were. You were meant to level up. You were meant to break through. But that only happens if you decide to use this as a launch pad instead of a grave. The problem with most men is that they let their emotions paralyze them instead of propel them. They cry, they sulk, they reminisce, but they don't act. The world doesn't reward victims. It rewards those who turn adversity into power. Right now, you need to focus on one thing: elevation. Get stronger, get richer, get sharper, and get so far ahead that the version of you who got left behind looks unrecognizable. Every second you waste thinking about her is a second you could be using to build your empire. Revenge isn't sending her texts. Revenge isn't begging for closure. Revenge isn't proving her wrong. The only revenge worth anything is massive, undeniable success. The kind of success that makes her realize she let go of a man who became something greater than she ever imagined. But by the time she realizes it, you won't even care. Now make your choice. Either let this break you or let this make you. Because the men who succeed in life are the ones who take their darkest moments and use them to fuel their greatest rise. Be that man. Be the one who turned loss into legend. So, what are you going to do now? Sit there like a broken man, wasting your time scrolling through her social media, replaying the past and convincing yourself that if you just did one thing differently, she'd still be by your side? Or are you going to wake the hell up and realize that God let her leave you because he knew you weren't meant to stay the way you were? The truth is, this isn't about her anymore. It never was. It's about you. It's about the man you were, the man you are now, and the man you have the potential to become. She was just a catalyst. She was just a fire that was supposed to ignite something in you. If you let this situation define you as weak, then you deserve to stay where you are. But if you take this pain, this loss, and use it to become something unrecognizable, then you'll realize that this wasn't a tragedy. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to you. The world doesn't care about your heartbreak. It doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards those who take their pain and turn it into power. The ones who refuse to let life break them. The ones who, instead of seeking comfort, seek greatness. And that is exactly what you need to do now. So forget about her. Forget about what was. The past is dead and she is gone. The only thing that matters now is what you do next. You have one job: to become the most powerful, successful, unstoppable version of yourself. A version so dominant that the thought of ever chasing someone again becomes laughable. Because here's the final truth. When you elevate, when you become the man you were meant to be, when you build a life so powerful that you dictate the terms, you'll never have to chase anyone again. They'll chase you, but by then, you won't even care because you'll be too busy winning.